Hey, LC here. I'd like to welcome you. As you can see in the title below, today's video will be a Jayce guide. So many people requested it, so here we are, boys and girls. Hope you enjoy it. Today we'll be talking about runes and masteries, Jayce's build, and things so-called combos. So let's get right into it. So first of all, Jayce is mainly used to be a top laner. He can be played mid, but I recommend top lane to be honest. Because in this current meta, split pushing is so strong. Jayce benefits from the bushes for his bush and dancing attacks. He can also split push really well due to top lane being a side lane, which makes you less gankable. Mid lane is the center of attention, which brings tons of fights and skirmishes. That would bring Jayce to be a poking style, slash army penetrating, slash usually fighting champion. This is not what we want. Jayce is primarily used as a split pusher, as he is probably the strongest split pusher in the entire game, especially with 40 or 45% CDR. Every other champion, Jayce has his own strengths and weaknesses. Jayce is really good at split pushing, and his kiting is godly if he's mastered. He is really good at 1v1ing because he has 7 abilities. So basically he can 1v1 almost every champion. He is really strong in team fights due to his 2 stances. He can switch from range to melee whenever he wants, and he snowballs really well. Jayce's weaknesses. He is vulnerable to CC, and if he gets ganked, he'll get behind. But if he gets behind, then it's really hard to get back up because Jayce is a high risk, high reward champion, like Regen. For general runes, I go for 8 AD reds, 1 crit red, 4 armor yellows, 5 health Regen yellows, 6 mana Regen blues, and 3 magic resist blues. I know it sounds weird, but I'll explain. The 1% crit opens the door to critical strike chances. It's better than nothing. You basically quote-unquote lose 1 AD for not taking the 9th AD red, or else you will have no chance of critting if you don't do so. It is simply efficient to open the door to an option, no matter what percentage it is. It's more than 0. For the yellows, the reason why I didn't go for 9 armor or 5 health is because Jayce is a ranged champion. He always harasses the enemy without getting hit, maybe by some minions, but now you can regen that HP back. He just doesn't get hit. And when he all-ins, he gets bonus armor and magic resist from his melee form. That's why I don't go for straight health or armor. Note that Jayce also doesn't have sustain. For the blues, I go for mana regen because I don't go for tier anymore. And like I said earlier, Jayce also gets bonus defense stats while being in melee form. The majority of top laners nowadays are not mages anyway. And now for masteries, there are 2 options. The first one being the Favor of Battle one, going 18-12-0. For the first tier, I go for sorcery because Jayce doesn't benefit from attack speed that much compared to an increase in his abilities damage. I also go for feast because Jayce needs sustain in the lane. Even though it has 20 seconds cooldown, getting that sustain is beneficial for you. I go for vampirism because I want to constantly harass my opponents and maintaining good health while doing so. Between bounty hunter and oppressor, I prefer bounty hunter because the average player usually gets more than 3 kills, but now you have to do so on different champions. No worries, man. The next one is obvious. And for Keystone Masteries, I go for a Favor of Battle because Jayce has his triple hit, he has 5 damaging abilities, and has high CDR to stack those Favor stacks. And for the second Mastery page, I want to go for 45% CDR, going for sustain throughout the whole tree, and getting Thunder Lords at the end. Because you'll get 180 damage plus 20% of bonus attack damage. Jayce usually gets around 200 bonus AD per game. Doing the math, he'll receive around 220 damage. This CDR page will really benefit your split pushing potential. You want to go for this page when you want to split push and run. You don't want to fight. I go for this page 90% of the time because it benefits what Jayce does best, split pushing. For summoner spells, you want to go flash 100% of the time and ignite 95% of the time. TP is a situational option. The reason why I go for ignite nowadays is because using TP in this meta will make you lose your turret. So let's say the enemy top laner uses TP bottom lane and to kill my allies, I can simply take his turret or even 2. He might take dragon and a few kills if he stays longer, but you can take so much more than him with turrets being weak now. So basically you want ignite to win lane, snowball, and split push because no one can 1v1 you. Exhaust and cleanse are also good options depending on the situation. Item builds! For the first item, I go for Crafting Potion because it almost guarantees that you win in the early levels. The sustain is strong and the magic damage is insane. Just don't forget to pop it when you're fighting. Your first packs should look like Serrated Dirk, Sheen, and Warhammer. Serrated Dirk gives you the armor penetration you need early on to burst your enemy. Once you have this item, you should be able to kill the enemy if you're not too behind. Sheen gives you the ability to split push efficiently. Remember to use your procs every time you fight an enemy or hit a turret. You use Warhammer to boost your CDR and destroy turrets along with Sheen. After that, you want to proceed to Trinity Force. He benefits from every stat since they removed AP and added CDR to it. You can really split push well with this item, giving you more movement speed and Sheen procs. His best friend is Essence Reaver. Since a new patch, Essence Reaver has been one of Jayce's bread and butter. Jayce really benefits from Critical Strike because his W has 3 hits, especially now since you have 45% CDR with those two items. Trinity Force and Essence Reaver together give you up to 45% CDR or 40% depending on your mastery page. Let's not forget about the 40% crit chance. 2.7 seconds cooldown on W along with Sheen is monstrous on turrets. He gets really strong 1v1ing too. The next item should be Infinity Edge because you'll get to 60% crit chance and increasing its damage by 50%. Add that to your W and no one exists anymore. The rest of the build is situational. You can go for one of Last Whisper's upgraded items if there's a tank. You go for Mercurial Scimitar if they have tons of CC. You go for Yumus to burst enemies and to synergize with your W cooldown. What I mean by that is you can W, then Yumu to maximize your auto attacks efficiently. Though I don't suggest going for Black Cleaver because you'll waste a third of its stats because of your maximized CDR. Bloodthirster because Jayce doesn't need lifesteal, he's a caster and split pusher, not a fighter. The same goes for your Death's Dance. As the last item, you can go for Stairway Cage, GA, Banshee's Veil, or Frozen Mallet to kite the enemies. As you can see, I no longer go for tier Muramana because games are way shorter now. You won't really have the time to use Muramana during the game because you usually get it around 26 minutes. Buying tier will only slow your early game down, making you weaker overall. The mana regen you get from runes, masteries, melee farm, and essence reaver is enough for you. Hey guys, welcome to the combos and tips section. First off, the EQ combo is the easiest and less efficient way to throw off an empower Q. There's a less known way to empower it, which is to Q first and then E yourself almost instantly, because the E takes too much time to proc. You have to Q the enemy and then E yourself. This is what it should look like. Oh shoot, I can do this because my mouse speed is 100%, so you guys might want to try it out. Here, Q, E. So you Q the enemy and then you E on you. So it's way faster than EQ, because EQ takes way too much time. Another tip with Jayce is to W in range then hit in melee farm. This will help you gain mana faster and get you for first melee hit on the enemy. It's used to fast combo all in an enemy. It should look like this. W, hit, hit, hit. There's a way to cancel the Q animation. You simply need to Q in range or QE depending on your speed. Then immediately change into melee farm and hit the enemy. Should look like this. You guys probably know about the Jayce insect. So basically you have to go in melee form, then jump, then flash, then E. So it should look like this. There's also a gate technique that most people don't know. I call it the parallel gate. So basically you put your champion like in the direction you want, and then you E like 90 degrees to your champion. So it should look like this. You know, like this. So now you E here. So basically the reason why you want to do this is because you run into your gate longer, so it's more efficient. And there's an easy way how to do it. You basically face the direction you want, then you turn 90 degrees, then you E, then you run. But this is way slower than the other one. But it takes a lot of practice, so practice makes perfect, guys. Don't worry about it. You'll get it one day. Here's a way to wave clear efficiently. So basically you W the first 3 minions, wait for them to come in a group, and then you EQ or Q depending on your damage, and then you get the other ones. W, 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 wait for them to come in a group, EQ or Q depending on your damage, hit the middle one, then get on everyone. So if you have enough damage, you can just like kill all of them. So yeah, now at the moment I don't have that much damage, but if you have like, if your damage is okay, then you can like wave clear easily with that combo. So basically you need to W the first 3 minions, wait for them to come in a group, Q or EQ depending on your damage to one hit them, then hit the middle one if you can, then jump on the back ones. So it'll like clear really fast. This is a really little E trick where you basically stand close to them, E them, and then hit them. So it should look like that. Here's when you want to fight an enemy, you just want to push them, transition into range farm, then hit them. So here is how to kite efficiently. this Mundo needs to chase me. That's it. Hit him. WWW. Here's an example how you should do when someone comes into the bush. You don't want to Q them immediately because Q is too slow to channel and the enemy can just like kill you. So let's say I'm really low here. You just want to eat the enemy and then jump on them. Let's see if what Mundo can do here. Let's go, Mundo. You want to do that because if you push them first, they cannot attack you unless they're ranged. But like, let's say if you're really low, you just want to push them back first so they can't kill you and then you jump on them. So if an enemy chases you, this is the typical Jayce combo you should do. It uses all your 7 abilities. It should look like this. This is the final Jayce combo, the typical Jayce combo, where you basically QE the enemy in range, W, transition into melee farm, QW them to jump on them, and then hit, E. Should look like this. That's it, guys. The enemy won't have time to react against that, and you'll basically just like give them your full 7 abilities on him. So yeah, it really does a ton of damage, and they cannot really respawn fast. So right now, I will show you guys where you can jump on walls. So you basically want to ward or have vision on them, just like you can simply have vision while queuing too. So you want to queue and then jump on them. Here, like this. Here you can jump here, here. Your mid lane. Here's your top lane. So do this if you want to chase an enemy. Aim for here. You can do the same on the other side too. Thing here. So basically you can do it every single small wall. If you're surrounded by enemies, you can simply do this combo. Get vision, go here, knock them back. That's it. You can also do this in the dragon pit. Same thing here. Here, if you can do it at dragon, you can basically do it at baron too. So it should look like this. Oh shoot! Ouch! No! No! Jayce's early game. Early game is probably the period where he's the weakest because he doesn't have enough mana for everything and his damage is mediocre. At level 1, you want to harass the opponent as much as you can without getting hit by minions. Use bushes at your advantage. Once you feel ready, you should go all in on the enemy and prog ignite on them. The reason why Jayce is such a strong level 1 champion is because he has 2 passives and 2 actives at that level, compared to most champions who only have 1 ability. You want to all in with ignite. This will either make the enemy burn a summoner spell, such as flash, make them die, or make them back, which will result in you dominating the lane. At level 2, you also want to all in, because that's when your bread and butter combo, so-called EQ or QE combo, meets Jayce. He now has 4 abilities and killing potential due to his knockback. So if you haven't used ignite yet, you might want to use it at level 2. Jayce's weak point is from level 3 to 5. At level 5, he has little power spike due to his level 3 Q. Your goal in the early game is to hurry up and get your item power spikes to definitely dominate top lane. If you're against a counter, you have to call for ganks or else you'll fall really behind. In the mid game, your goal is to get the 2 top lane turrets and roam to get even more objectives. Don't forget your wards. When late game arrives, your goal is to pressure the enemy as much as possible by always splitting. This will make them tilt and increase your chances of winning if it's solo queue. Keep 2 or 3 lanes pushed at all time. Jayce is really strong at splitting solo because of his wave clear combo, his 1v1 potential, his 45% CR Shin W combo, and his fast escape. In team fights, Jayce should look to kite the enemies as much as possible by hitting the closest target. His goal is to survive until someone mispositions. That's when Jayce goes melee farm and kills him. He basically acts like a second marksman in the team and an assassin at the same time. Although before team fights, you should look to get a blue or else you'll run out of mana because you want to poke the enemies before fighting. Aim for squishy targets. Well, that's all guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to click the follow button on my Twitch channel. If you have any questions, write them in the comments below and I will read them all.